Hello and welcome to Cartridge Blowers, where we give games a second chance to make a first impression. And this week, we're not doing that at all. In fact, we're doing exactly the opposite. Playing a game isn't exactly about the journey, it's all about the destination. So this week, we're playing just the final levels of video games. I walk into a small British town where I honk, and then I honk, and honk while I honk in Untitled Goose Game. Nikki kills her dad and kills her pets and kills a bug, and I guess also a whale and her boyfriend in Final Fantasy X. And Cody is a dummy. Thanks for writing my jokes for me in the Incredible Crash Dummies. All this and Otherworld. Is it a good Final Fantasy song or a bad Final Fantasy song? But like, good as in the good, bad, like, you know what I mean, damn it. It's Cartridge Blowers, episode 158. So it should go without saying that this episode has spoilers for those three games I talked to you about just a second ago. In keeping with this theme, here are some more spoilers. Aerith dies, Vader's the dad, Bruce Willis is dead, and so am I. So am I.
YNIN's Cartridge Blowers! Starring Cody Coleman, Nikki Wright, Matt Krua, and no one else. Cartridge Blowers. Hello everybody, and welcome to YNIN's Cartridge Blowers, the show where we give video games a second chance to make a first impression. I'm Cody Coleman, and with me as always is Nikki Wright.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, also Matt Krua.
Oh, hi.
Yeah, I'm sorry to bother you. It's that time again.
It's fine, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I've got hold on, let me look at my planner. I can pencil you in for like an hour, I think.
Okay, good. Thank God, because that's exactly how long we need.
Oh.
For this.
How good for you.
It's very good for me. This is the show where in the second half we play video games based around a theme. And this week, the theme is the last levels. Cartridge Blowers, the last levels.
Actually, it's called Super Mario 2.
Oh,
or
yeah.
if you want to be technical, in Japanese, it's Doki Doki Panic.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
We actually didn't get Cartridge Blowers to the last levels until Cartridge Blowers All-Stars came out
Right.
on Super Nintendo.
And it's really because this one guy at Nintendo of America thought it wouldn't be fun.
My uncle.
Yeah.
That's all the jokes.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Good.
We did it.
Fantastic.
We used them up.
Yep. Okay,
Yeah,
no more jokes.
End of jokes for this entire episode.
From now on, it is a documentary series.
Yes, absolutely. So that's what you have to look forward to in the second half of the show. If you're watching us after the fact, as you can on YouTube every other Friday, you can skip ahead by clicking on the timestamp in the descriptions below. But if you're watching us live, as you can all the other Fridays on twitch.tv/cartridgeblowers, then you just got to hear us talk. But you do get to interact with us through the chat room, as our chat does every week. And really, that's so much more fun. Come join us live. Come.
Yeah.
Follow
and,
us.
if you're enjoying the live show, maybe you want to, repeat it, you can check us out over on YouTube.
Dude, yes, youtube.com/YNINpod or youtube.com/cartridgeblowers. Both will work. You can, you saw it popping up in the lower right-hand corner. But, yeah, so please, do all of those things. We're asking a lot of you, but really, come on, it's us. We're your friends. We're your buddies. We're your pod buddies, as it were.
Pod buddies?
Yeah, we're your podcast buddies. Pod buddies.
Like dolphins?
Yeah. Yes. We live in the pod. We laugh. We play. We flip around.
Okay.
It's great. Yeah.
You make me cry.
Well, that is part of our goal. Yes, is to make everyone cry.
Wait, dolphins make you cry? Is that a thing?
Call me a fool, but yeah.
Okay, I'm not getting the reference.
It's okay.
All I can think of is like
you.
Alive's "Can You Hear the Dolphins Cry?" You guys remember that song? It was really bad. It's from like 1997, and it
I
was like
think
a
we're
bald.
thinking of the same song, but you are thinking of very different lyrics.
It's a bald guy, and he's the guy from Live, and he's
Mm-hmm,
screaming at the
mm-hmm.
camera, and he's like, "Can you hear the dolphins cry?" And like the dolphin shoots up.
It's beautiful, beautiful
Yeah.
imagery that you have painted, Matt.
Thank you. It's
Yeah.
dolphin time.
Yeah. So anyway, before we get around to playing all those video games, those last levels, as it were, let's talk about things that we played. And Matt always plays just a bunch of stuff.
I always have time to get a few of the old video game arenos in there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a while since we last talked, I believe. 3 weeks, right? So
Right
I've
around,
had some,
right around there. Yeah.
I've had some time to do some stuff. Had a lot of streaming in that time period. Did the entirety of Final Fantasy VIII. Been playing Bloodstained. I don't know if you heard about this Bloodstained game.
I've seen it popping up on your stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, but then they just used different animations and sprites, and otherwise it's the same game.
Ooh. That
Yeah,
sounds like
it's
a
real
great
spooky.
game.
It's real spooky. Like the spooky part is just how exactly the same it is as the PS1 game. It's Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yes.
Yeah, it's basically Koji Igarashi, the guy who worked for Konami and made, or was like the main driving force behind Symphony of the Night at the time. He was like, "Hey, do you think I can make another one of these cool Castlevania games that people like and love?" And Konami said, "No, we make Pachi slot games now, and only those." And he said, "Okay." And so he left, and then he made this, and it's really, really good. It's a Metroidvania style game that you go around and fight monsters and get drops and get stronger. And I mean, Metroidvanias are all kind of samey.
Mostly the
like
Castlevania portion of the Metroidvania.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really hard to describe this and not say so. It does this like Symphony of the Night because it does a lot of things like Symphony of the Night. You have familiars that can follow you around. You've got lots of different weapons and items. You've got visual customizations for the characters.
Can you turn into toxic mist?
Not yet, but I bet I can eventually.
Okay,
like,
cool.
Like I'm not a vampire, but like I talk to vampires. And like the guy who does the voice for Alucard in Symphony of the Night just plays like the librarian in this game. And
Oh,
like
really?
I don't know what that voice actor is about, but like I guess his whole thing is just he has a very deep bass voice. And like he has the one voice and that's it.
Okay. And so are you at least vampire adjacent or are you full on human?
I'm like some sort of homunculus type of thing. I'm like a lady who has got like some crystals in her from some science mans, and it allows me to take the souls of these monsters and use them to do cool shit. So
I see.
they do the cool shit. So I'm halfway through that. If you catch this on the day it comes out on YouTube, I'll probably be finishing up fairly soon. I think. I hope. Maybe. I have no idea. I actually don't know how far I am. I'm kind of blind.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I can't recommend enough. It's a good time.
Right on.
Trying to think, what else did I get a chance to play? I have a game that I played, but I can't really talk about it because it's also my game of the show today.
Ooh.
So
You're getting real new this week.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, the game I played in the past 3 weeks is a game that I decided, you know what? Let me show off the last level of this game. Why not? So spoiler alert, later on in the show, you'll be getting a look at Untitled Goose Game.
Ooh.
Which, I mean, it's taken the internet by storm. Pardon me. I think that it's got a lot of charm. It's got a lot of fun. I think it's been blown out of proportion a little bit.
Okay.
It's like real short and also like doesn't play the greatest.
Really?
But like I don't know, you're kind of there for the atmosphere and the goofiness of it. So
I think that's probably why. Because
yeah.
like most of the hype that I've seen hasn't been like, oh, this game is like, amazing gameplay. It's been like, oh, look at this goose with a bloodstained axe in its mouth.
Right. So I'll talk more about what draws me to that probably later in the show.
Cool.
The other game I played, which I was going to stream actually, but I legally couldn't. I got into a closed beta test for Project Resistance,
Oh,
which
Interesting.
is the multiplayer Resident Evil game that was revealed at I want to say Tokyo Game Show like a month or two ago. And Project Resistance is essentially a 4v1 asymmetrical multiplayer game where 4 people play as various survivors and 1 person plays as sort of like a mastermind type character. And the mastermind type character has various cards that they can use to place things around the level to stop the survivor characters from advancing. And from the survivor character's point of view, it plays like Resident Evil 2, the remake, kind of, which is good because it's a good game. But the mastermind almost kind of works like a board game slash Five Nights at Freddy's a little bit because you're looking only through video cameras that you have set up around the building. You're switching from camera to camera. It's an interesting experience. I don't know. I played a decent amount of it. Like I probably played like 10 games or so before I was like, yeah, this is a pretty one-note experience for a closed beta because they had 1 level. But it's got some work to do, I guess.
Okay.
Because I'm allowed to talk about it, if not stream it. And it's a
Sorry.
closed beta, right?
Sorry, Rumplefugs is the sequel we want. 5 Guys at Freddy's.
Yeah.
It's making me laugh.
I would play that or eat that, one or the other. But yeah, so I got to play as the mastermind 1 time, and all the other times I played as survivor characters. And the survivor characters, if you're not completely on point with the other people, then you lose. You're gonna get rolled every time. Meanwhile, the mastermind I played 1 time, and I slaughtered them. It was easy because they weren't playing together. They weren't on a team. They weren't talking and speaking and strategizing. And so I can tell that like it's a game that you wouldn't want to play with random people, but also by nature of having the 4v1 asymmetrical multiplayer, you kind of have to play with random people for it to work.
Boo.
Yeah, I would have rather seen something more like the Outbreak games on PlayStation 2, which I really, really loved and have a soft spot for, which were just online multiplayer Resident Evil games where it was just you and 4 other people versus AI, and going through actual story missions, whereas this is you're advancing through like phases and rooms and there's no story necessarily. So it's got potential. And so keep an eye on Project Resistance. A terrible title, very bad title. Keep an eye on it, but very early.
Okay.
Very early, yeah.
Let's get into playing games. All right, so like I said at the beginning of the episode, this week we played just the last levels of shit. So I think I'm the only one that played it how I had it in my mind when I suggested this theme, but that's okay, we'll get to that later. Matt's going to start us out with what he teased at the beginning of the episode. Matt!
Yeah. Spoiler alert, I played Untitled Goose Game.
Mm-hmm.
what?
Yeah,
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
I know. Sorry for the major shocker. I didn't mean to
mhm.
drop that on you without so much fanfare. Untitled Goose Game is we'll say puzzler
Okay.
slash asshole simulator.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, so you play as a goose and you leave your goose hovel and go into a small English town. And we go into the first section of the town, which is like this sort of it's by a pond that you come out of, and there's a gardener who's working on a garden, and you are presented with a checklist of things to do. And some of these things are like take the gardener's hat, take the gardener's keys, rake in the lake. And what's rake in the lake? We'll take his rake and put it in the lake. Various things like that. That once you complete the checklist, you can then move on to the next area. So they're kind of like these sort of mini puzzle areas with various things to do. and the people will react to you in various ways. When I say puzzly, it's almost kind of also a stealth game in some ways, because you're trying to both sneak around and do things and also like obfuscate what you're actually doing. Like for instance, with the gardener section at the beginning, like there's one of the quests is you have to have a picnic, which is you have to steal food from his garden and bring it to this picnic basket that's on the other side of the pond, and he'll chase you down and take the food if you're doing it. So like I'm always taking other things and throwing them where he can see them, so he walks over there to grab the stuff, and then I take the carrot and I fucking dip.
It's as you do.
The game is really, really funny. I think I don't know that I've ever had a more hilarious experience than stealing a toy from a little kid and giving it to a lady who's having a yard sale, only to have her then sell the toy back to the kid for money. That it's really messed up, and I love it. So what I'm playing here is the last normal level of the game. It's a short game. There are, I think, you're actually to sort of spoil it. This last level of the game has you get to the end of town or the town square, and you have to get a bell and bring it back to your goose hovel. And to do that, you have to go back through all the areas you've already conquered, which is a restaurant, these two people's backyards, the street corner with the yard sale, and then the garden. And so you have to get back through these areas as all these characters you've already thwarted, who now hate geese.
You've made them goose
like
racist.
you'll notice like they've put up signs that are like no geese, and they hate geese, and you have to sneak by them and bring the bell back to your home. So it's kind of like one last mad dash through all of these people that you've wronged.
Okay, all right.
So spoilers for the end of the normal levels of Untitled Goose Game. So yeah, at this point I've just come out of the restaurant area, which is to the right over here, up these stairs. And I don't actually.
Cute.
He is adorable. You actually the controls in this game are a little wonky, but they're pretty good too. So like,
I didn't know you had a famous person make a cameo.
I know, right? Listen, all famous people make cameos on my Twitter too. It's fine.
I mean, hello, exhibits A and B.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So the controls are: you move around with a stick. You use a shoulder button to put your head.
So cute. Sorry.
To put your head down.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's one of my goals is get into the model village, and the other one is go grab the bell.
Holy shit! The geese is gigantic.
Yeah,
it's a model village.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
that was my original thought too until I saw model village, and I'm like,
guys.
Oh.
I buried my head in my hands over how cute it was. I must have missed it.
I thought it was a goose kaiju for a minute, and that was great to me.
So yeah, I can duck my head. I can grab things with A. I dumped that guy in the water because it's a model of a dude who sucks. You can also flare your wings. Flaring your wings does nothing but make you look cute and or angry. And of course, there is a dedicated honk button. Yep.
Delightful.
So there's the bell I need. Steal the beautiful bell. So I'm just going to peck at this.
Oh, man. You have to work to get that bell.
You really just have to pull, but I'm just like, I'm hamming it up for the cameras. Listen.
Okay, alright.
Got him. Alright. Steal the beautiful miniature golden bell. Got it. Alright, a new to-do list item, and take it all the way back home. Which is a pretty wild thing to do, to ask the player to do, because like, oh shit. It's a pretty long walk, honestly.
Okay.
And every time I run, if I'm holding on B to run, the bell will ring, so people will be alerted to my location. If I'm walking, though, as I'll discover pretty soon, then the bell doesn't ring and I can sneak, but obviously I don't move as fast. So, we're heading back this way through this restaurant area, which is like the 4th level. You can see some carnage that I've left in my wake with those tomatoes.
This.
Oh my god, it's so cute.
Yeah, this game was made for Nikki, I think.
And so all these patrons of the restaurant are looking for me because the town loves their bell. They are obsessed with their beautiful golden bell, and the goose has taken it. Was this game sponsored by R.L. Stein?
Whoa,
yes.
what happened to that man's anus?
Oh,
His
horrible
prolapse
anal
or something?
bleeding.
I made him sit in tomatoes because fuck
Oh,
that dude.
okay.
Oh, they grabbed the bell from me. Give it back.
Get it back. The goose
Give
is
my bell.
sore.
Give my bell. Give my bell. Give my bell. Aw.
Yeah.
Fuck
Yoink.
those guys.
Bye. So I've successfully managed to escape from that area, and I'm thinking, well, there's actually a shortcut door over here that leads back to the garden, but they locked it. So
Those fuckers.
yeah, you have to do this. Jab 'em, yes. Send me $50, and I'll make a video of the goose running wherever you want him to run.
Oh my, like, I know I keep saying it, but it's just so cute, you guys.
It's pretty cute. It's a pretty cute goose.
Look
I'm
at it
not gonna lie.
go!
So this is an area where these two neighbors, I had to go through their backyards and basically cause them to hate each other. I had him like throw her prized vase over the side of the fence on accident
God.
and glued together. Meanwhile, I had her accidentally trim his prized roses. It's a pretty good time.
Look at this woman trying to be sneaky. What an idiot.
Oh.
And so she tried to stop me from making. Fuck you! No, 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 no. So I'm basically just going full aggro and trying to distract her. Nope. Okay. She's distracted by her own bell. Got it. Now I'm like, all right, so we're gonna go over here to where I came in to this originally, but the guy has actually sealed it up with nails, so I can't leave. All right, and there's this guy. I stole his shoes. He still doesn't have them. I threw one of them away. I brought them to a trash can. And so I'm trying to see if I can sneak by this guy. I'm thinking maybe if I get on the left side there, I'll be able to like just sort of dip past him when he walks past the gate here.
Oh, he saw you.
Oh no.
Oh
he
no.
Oh shit! No!
Run. Oh, he took your bell.
Damn it, my bell!
That's all right. You took a key
I got your
teacup
tea.
from him.
All right, going. Bye.
And he drops his own teacup. What a loser.
They've hand-drawn no goose signs. So now we're heading towards the street corner area. And in this area, there was a yard sale going on. Plus, there's like a TV repair store and a nerdy kid.
Listen, the Ducko could have any teacup of mine in my cabinets.
All right, so there's the TV store owner. And there's the lady with the broom. She's the one who was running this yard sale.
Oh
and
no!
There's Griffin McElroy, and he's scared of my honks. He's scared of my honks, so I just honk and he runs away.
How do you lose?
Like you don't. There's no lose state per se.
I can
Potentially,
imagine Griffin runs exactly like that.
potentially they could like take the bell all the way back to the miniature town, I suppose. So here's the garden area. And the gardener is conspicuous by his absence. I'm zooming out. Oh, there he is. This is the first man I ever wronged. So I'm like, well, the main way I beat him when I did this area was I just took this rose out a lot. And, hey, take it out. Rose, 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 I got it. Honk, 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 honk. Honk, 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 honk. Honk, 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 honk.
Goose just wants to tango with you, Mr. Farmer.
Yeah, get your rose, idiot. Ha, the bell is mine. Success. And then I honk on my way out because fuck you. So this is the pond where you come in, and we're kind of back in the tutorial section now. And as far as I know, there's no one who can stop me at this point. So I guess the goal is just to bring this bell back. I'm not really sure why the townspeople are so mad at the goose. I'm not really sure why the goose wants this bell so much. but we have returned back to the opening part of the game, and nothing is happening. Take it all the way back home while I'm here. Oh.
Aww.
Oh. He's stolen mini bells.
This is why they're so defensive. You keep stealing their bell.
Basically.
Aww.
And then you just honk through the credits.
And that's me jamming on the honk button. as the credits begin to roll.
All right.
After you beat it, you do get a sort of new game plus type of thing, which gives you harder checklists and also a speedrun checklist.
Okay.
But that's what I just did was essentially the end of the story mode.
That game was delightful.
It's like it's really short. Like in fact, so I would say, so I full disclosure, that was not my first time beating it. That was my second time beating it. But I was like, I want to show this game off. I want to show the ending off to this game. I don't have a save there, so I just kind of beat it again tonight. It took me about an hour to get all the way to the end. And like my first time through, it took probably about 4, maybe at most.
All right.
So it's a pretty short game, but it's cute and it's got a lot of charm.
I love it.
Matt, you have made Nikki maybe happier than she has ever been on this show.
I have just had the biggest smile on my face.
She is just...
Girl, get yourself the Goose Game.
Right? How much was it?
I think it's 20.
All right.
Not bad for like all the joy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look at how happy it made her in 10 minutes. So...
and I feel like, I mean, I told you quite a bit about the game. I didn't give away everything. There's lots of fun little things, and I actually haven't done the new game plus stuff yet. So there could be lots of cool stuff in there too. I'm not sure. But yeah, so that's Untitled Goose Game. It's a little indie thing. You may have heard of it.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think it's time for the really happy lady to talk about her game.
I also played a little indie game. You probably haven't heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game called Final Fantasy X.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I've heard tell of this.
I think I kickstarted that.
Yeah. It was made not too long ago, something like 2001 or something.
Sure.
It was a little company's first foray into making games. A little company by the name. Actually, no, that's a lie. It's a little company's last foray into making games because they ceased to exist after this game was made.
That's why it was the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it was the Final Fantasy.
Yeah, the last one.
All right.
So.
Yeah. I guess there's not a whole lot.
There's not a whole lot. Like, listen, everyone's fucking heard of Final Fantasy X.
Right.
But Cody, you're the only one amongst us who's never beaten FF10.
I have not.
Like, it's gonna spoil you a little, but not a ton.
Okay.
Look, I was in the voice acting community when this game was big. I know every single thing about this game.
Do you though?
I probably don't, but I know a lot. For a game I've never played,
you know
I know
every single line of the kiss in the lake scene.
I do. All right. Well, is there anything else you really need to say to introduce this?
So Chad asks, which one is Final Fantasy X? That's the one with Blitzball.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cloud.
Yeah, Blitzball has been on this show
Blitzball before. with Biggs and Wedge. And
Dr. Aki from the movie.
There.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, I guess if you have nothing else, let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Wait, are we going to get to hear the line?
Which one? I don't know. I cut out a lot of lines.
Oh, no. You have to have left this one in. Tidus to his dad?
No, I think that's out.
No.
I think it's out. This video was 40 minutes. I had to do something.
RPG final bosses can take forever.
Well, there were 3 parts.
Yeah.
And I actually haven't completed this file because I am on a completionist kick, and I wanted to go back and do everything before I beat the game.
Sure.
So, the theme came up, and I thought this would be easy.
Ah!
Perfect.
Thanks. I've been working on my James Arnold Taylor.
Final Fantasy Tencent. Oh God.
Free Hong Kong. Free Hong Kong. No. So the line that was cut out is where Tidus says to Jecht,
He might
"I hate
say
you."
it later.
Yeah. If he says it, I'm gonna pop. I'm here for it.
Okay.
All right. But if not, I'm gonna be quietly sad about it.
I'm
but I
so
won't
sorry.
complain. It's okay. I can go find it on YouTube. I'm sure there's like a 10-hour supercut of "I hate you." Man,
That
you don't know the
costs
half of it. Oh shit.
Hell yeah.
Man, okay, so I remember buying this game, getting it at Funko Land,
Uh-huh.
and coming home, and it was myself and my friend Adam, and we put it into the PS2, and that opening cinema plays with this music, and it was just like, what the fuck is this game?
Yeah.
His dad's head is so tiny compared to the rest of him.
Whoa. That was too many
Yeah,
HPs.
so face change already, because my characters are really fucking strong.
Dude.
I cut out at the beginning, I showed off my sphere grid, and damn near everything is complete for everybody.
Oh my god. And you're not, like, using any sort of, like, cheat engine or anything?
Nope. My
Nicole.
sphere grid is almost completely maxed out for everybody, with the exception of Tidus, whose sphere grid is completely maxed out.
How are you telling us you're not playing games every week? You must have been playing this for, like, months.
So this is a file that I've been working on steadily over the last, like, couple of years.
Okay, alright.
So is this the... Which version is this?
The PS4 version.
Okay.
This is the HD?
Yes.
Yeah. Does Jecht have a J on his chest?
It's the symbol for Sphera. It sort of looks like a J, doesn't it?
Okay.
It's one of my favorite Final Fantasy games as well.
Yeah, Tidus' dad does have a good set of roid rage.
I like that living inside Sin was this, like, eldritch being of Jecht this whole time.
Yeah. Alright, well, I killed my dad. Let's go home. That was dramatic.
It was. That's not even one of my cuts, I don't think.
Now, okay, that's that melodramatic FF10 music.
Yeah.
So, spoiler alert: Tidus' dad, you cut him up.
Yeah, you kind of cut him real good. Although you
Cry.
healed that hole in his chest from earlier.
Always cry. See? You're crying.
That line sucks.
Yeah.
I hate you, Dad.
There it is.
Oh.
I like that they dedicated a full FMV to him saying he hates his dad.
Now that's not the exact line I'm looking for, but that's a good
Save
one.
it for later.
Yeah, the one earlier I think is where he just goes, "I hate you."
Yeah, it's like such a weird cut. Like the audio, like the mic, you can tell was cut exactly around his words.
And, like, I think the other thing that they did with this game, I think they sped up some of the lines too,
After all.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
I think maybe to match with FPS.
Could be. But they didn't do themselves any favors in some
Sure.
scenes.
Father.
Subject. I should.
Like,
No.
so they did FF10 2 with like Yuna's story
There's no
afterward.
time.
I would have preferred to have seen a prequel with Jecht.
Yeah, that would have been fucking awesome.
Like,
You know.
obviously their story is kind of doomed, but like, I don't know. I like Jecht's character, and I would have liked to have seen more of him.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's nothing wrong with a game that has a bad ending. And it's not even necessarily a bad ending in the end. Like, they save Sphera. They don't know that, like, Yevon is corrupt yet.
Right.
Final Fantasy X-3, the objection.
Oh my god,
It's
yes!
a court game. The trial of sin.
Oh god, Square Enix, take my money. So you'd think the game would be over, but if you recall, Jack just said that Yuna couldn't send him because there was no time.
Right.
I'm about to cut me
Here it comes.
fighting like 9 Aeons. Because again, I said at the beginning that I am trying to do a completionist, I don't want to say run because it's been like many, many years of this game. And I've collected just about every Aeon that there is to get. And this part makes you kill all of them. And even though I could one-shot them, it still took 25 minutes because even if you have the slow cutscene on, it overrides that and plays the full cutscenes for their entrance.
Hey, the ending to this game is bunk. Can I throw that out there? This is stupid.
Yuna!
Because, like, the final boss, you beat the final boss already.
Yes.
And so, like, this is just a really long thing where you can't die.
Yes.
And, like, I guess it's supposed to make you feel something because you're murdering your own summons that, like, guess you've bonded with or whatever. But, like...
Oh, yeah. Every time, Yuna has, like, a little mini cutscene where she, like, reacts very somberly. And, like, there's a different one mostly for each one.
And, like, I would have rather just had, like, a quick, cool animated cutscene.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, we've already fought the Aeons, and so now we just have to fight you, Yevon.
Which, another shitty boss.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, you can't die.
I'll disappear. I know it's selfish,
Okay, bye.
but this is my story.
There's that line.
Yeah, I mean, it's Yuna's story, really.
Yeah.
Look at Yuna hitting for nearly 60,000.
Jeez Louise.
God, I'm
Yuna.
so proud of her. Yeah, you heal for 10k, you fucking idiot. What are you gonna do?
So how did it feel to finally complete your Final Fantasy X speed saunter?
It's not completed.
Oh.
I still have to kill all of the created monsters, and I have to kill the Dark Aeons, and I have to make the ultimate accessories.
And complete the sphere grid for every character.
And complete the sphere grid for every character. And like I said that Tidus's sphere grid is complete, I have to go in and fill the blank spheres still. Which I'm gonna do.
So yeah, God was a bug the whole time, and the bug was shitty, and he made a whale, and the aristocrats.
Yes.
I love this game a lot. Played through it on stream, what, 2 years ago now, maybe?
Something like that.
I should probably upload all of those. Have I not? I might have. I can't remember. But yeah, it's a really fantastic game. I think I really don't like the ending a lot. And I think it's a really good intro Final Fantasy. I think I've said this before. Because it's a pretty easy game. I mean, obviously not for what you're doing, because you're doing a pretty fucking wild thing.
Yeah.
But like if you're just playing through the game normally, like you don't have to grind in this game.
Oh no, absolutely not. For the first like 2 hours of the game, it really walks you through everything so that you know exactly what you need to do.
Oh yes, fucking we get Oran's theme. Thank you. Best song in the game.
It is. You only hear it for a second though, because I
I'm
cut
okay
out
with
him
it.
saying, "This is your world now."
Hold on, I'm gonna Google that song so I can play it later. Okay, covers Oran's theme. Got it. I would also play an Oran-based FF game. What? That sounds awesome.
Man, like that prequel, right?
Yes.
So I hadn't seen the ending since you beat the game,
Yuna,
and
I have to go.
I cried.
I mean, you know he's gonna be all right.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
He's gonna be all right, Nikki.
Yeah.
There's a second one,
Yeah.
and he's in Dissidia, which is canon, I think.
Is it?
I don't know.
Also, I'm really not sorry about the way I cut this together.
Everyone's all sad,
Well.
and Yuna's like, and he's like, vanish.
I love you.
Well.
I hate you.
response to her saying "I love you" is to jump off the ship.
Yeah, y'all want to do a fandom of this scene?
Yes, please.
Specifically, Nikki's edit.
I will say though, man, fuck him going to like the fucking ghost world that they all live in, and then he high fives his dad. That rules. Good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I have to, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
Sure.
All
It's a
right.
real good game.
Cody, you'll
Yeah.
be the only one of us who hasn't like beaten FF10 very recently.
Yeah, I know.
Get
I guess
on
I
it,
better
bud.
get on it. I gotta start my speed song.
It's on Switch. Go grab it.
Is it already? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's been on there for like a year, dude.
Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one.
The
I
game came out in
pick up.
2001.
Well, but on the Switch it did not.
It's a whole
It came out in
adult
2001.
in age.
I can vote.
Ah, well, all right.
It can go to war
Jesus
and die
Christ,
for your freedom.
Oh, it can. Oh man.
And it did.
It's seen a lot of shit.
All right. Well, I'm assuming you would play this again, probably from start to finich. But
Oh yeah, I didn't save me beating that game just because I was at the Monster Hunter arena and I have business to tend to.
Oh, FF10 is canceled. Never mind. Sorry.
Okay.
Rumbleplex says it voted for Buttigieg.
All right.
Cody, what'd you play, bud?
So, what I wanted to do is play a game I've never played before.
Sure.
That and skip to the last level without any of the levels that teach me how to play the game.
Yeah,
having been
Cody's
played
the one who
before.
actually did, I guess, the thing right.
Yeah, that was my intention for this theme when I came up with it. So that's what I did. I went to my stash of games and I randomly pulled one and I saw if there was a level skip for it, and if there was, then that's the one I played. Turns out the Incredible Crash Dummies for the NES was that game. So that's what I played.
So, like, to be completely honest, up until like you and I talked about this pre-show, and I was like, yeah, no, I played through my whole game beforehand. And you were like, supposed to be passwords. That never even popped into my mind.
Yeah, no, it's totally.
In fact, I went to GameFAQs looking for like save states.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, can we
That
get
was my
some-
backup plan if I couldn't get Final Fantasy X to record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I however you wanted to interpret the theme is fine. This was my intention, and that's
However we wanted to interpret the theme, but Cody really wants us to know that he's the only one who did it right.
Yeah.
correct. I'm the only one who did the theme correctly, but that's fine.
That said, you doing the theme correctly made you have to play the Incredible Crash Dummies.
play a
on
really
NES.
shitty game. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you don't know, the Incredible Crash Dummies were created in 1991 as a ad campaign for the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, where they created a series of commercials to try to tell people to wear their fucking seatbelts, as Vince and Larry were their two star crash test dummies.
I remember that. I remember that commercial where the sentient crash test dummy said, "Hey man, are you gonna wear your fucking seatbelt, ass bitch?" And
Yeah.
like the other crash dummy was like, "Dude, we're on Fox Kids. You can't do that."
Yeah.
You
Precisely.
can't.
Yeah, so basically they were just people who said, hey, don't be a dummy, buckle up. That was their slogan or something similar to that. And they'd get in a fucking wreck. And I guess they'd still be alive. One, because they wore their seatbelt. And two, because they're magical sentient crash test dummies. And then in 1992, they moved on and decided they wanted to start going even further with this. So they made a line of toys based around the crash test dummies. However, they had to abandon Vince and Larry as characters, so they created two pretty much identical characters called Slick and Spin. And they were pretty much exactly the same as the other two guys with a palette swap. So there were toys where basically you would buy them and you'd press buttons and their limbs would fly off. Like they were toys basically made for dismemberment. So you press the top button, their arms would fly off and their head would fly off. Press the bottom button, their legs would fly off. And then you could further separate those limbs if you wanted to. And they had...
They're just trying to make everyone into like Sid from Toy Story.
Yeah, pretty much. Only like, completely intentionally. Yeah. So that was what that was. And they had some where the limbs wouldn't fly off. Instead, if you press the button, their eyeballs would bug out. And they had a baby, and they had they had a baby who did not explode or have their limbs removed, but they did fly out of the car seat.
What?
Yeah. And there was a cat and a dog named Hubcap and Bumper. I'm sorry, Hubcat and Bumper, and they would flatten when you ran over them with the cars. And then
There was a toy that was a baby that flew out of a windshield?
yeah,
That's fucked up.
That
would
toy was
never
recalled.
fly today.
that toy was
It
recalled.
shouldn't have flown ever.
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Out of a
out
windshield.
of a windshield. And then in 1993, they decided to introduce antagonists, which they introduced Junkman and his minions. And at that time, they also created the NES game. In fact, LJN was the company that made this game. So I'm playing an LGN Crash Test Dummy game, or Crash Dummies games. I'm sorry, not Crash Test Dummies. That was a band. So they did that, and then there was canceled, and then later picked back up in 2004, where they had more toys and more shorts and cartoons and whatnot. So we're going to play the very last level of the NES game based around the Incredible Crash Dummy toy line.
All right.
And let's go ahead and get right into it. So I will say, when I recorded this, there was...
They already had an antagonist, the windshield.
Yes, they did. So I don't know what any of these fucking enemies are, but the sound did not record. So since we had a little extra time, I found the soundtrack and spliced it in manually, and that was actually a giant pain in the ass.
But it seems worth it, because I was going to say, this music seems pretty good.
The music is actually not that bad. I did
I
get
like
this song stuck in my head and was singing it, and my wife eventually had to say, "That's not a real song, shut up."
It's actually a real song.
It is so a real song. I found it
Yeah.
on YouTube and spliced it into a video.
I did. So, your head can get blown off, and if it does, well, if you die, you just completely explode. But your head can get blown off, and if that happens, then the controls reverse.
What?
What?
And that's actually very frustrating.
I
Why
understand.
would they do that?
I don't know, because it's not that hard to do.
And like, man, when the controls are wrong, and by wrong I mean not inverted, it's fucking impossible to play.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
So you're like scoring extra heads. These are your hearts.
Yeah. So heads are your hearts, and if your head gets blown off, then you can pick up a new one, and it will fix the problem.
Oh my God.
I was red for a second, yeah. And everything slowed down, which made things a little easier to do. But then I found out if you hit those things, you fly to the edge of the screen and explode. You don't necessarily die, but it did throw me into that acid water, and that definitely killed me.
The checkpoints seem kind of generous.
Yeah, the checkpoints are actually pretty good. So I'm
And
trying
then
to
you're
get the
collecting-
timing here.
Timing for that seems never mind.
Yeah, I got it.
You're collecting traffic cones, but why for?
I don't know. As far as I can tell, they don't do anything.
You have 18 of them for some fucking
Yeah.
reason.
I guess they're like coin MacGuffins. Maybe if I collect enough of them, I get an extra life.
Are you always on a unicycle?
Yes. I think that's not a unicycle. I think that's just you running your legs in a circle really fast for some
What?
reason.
But you have your...
No, it looks like you're riding a Segway.
Oh, I guess maybe
Yeah.
it is. Maybe you're right. Maybe that is me riding a unicycle for no reason, because that's not in the toys at all.
Yeah, maybe like your legs end in wheel instead of feet.
Maybe so.
Like that guy from Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah. Also, you can't
Jesus.
kill any enemies. You can only spray them with whatever the hell this is. There is
Okay.
also an
You can't
oil
kill
gun, which we'll
enemies,
see
but
later.
you can explode if you touch them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Which sometimes kills you and sometimes does not.
And they send you hurtling back across the level.
Yeah. There is another weapon we will see a little bit later. I'm very glad I did not go through that head.
Been there. What is that?
So that makes me invincible for a second. But not to falling in acid, apparently.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah.
Nothing makes me invincible to falling in acid.
Nothing.
So you're in Junkman's hideout.
Yes.
Whoa! Holy crap!
Yeah,
Whoa!
I picked up something that made me go very fast.
Aww.
So I had a game over. So, I can't remember if I cut out another attempt at that.
Ah, you're
Yeah,
no
no.
dummy.
I decided to just jump to the last level and say,
Sure,
fuck it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how to avoid these fires. It seems like you kind of have to get hit here.
Literally just the soundtrack was the incredible part. The game
Yes.
seems aggressive. Oh, that's Junkman, isn't it?
That's Junkman right there. So I spray him and he gets stunned, which allows me to try to bounce on these spare tires to hop
Oh my god,
off.
are you gonna beat this game?
I'm gonna try. So, what I think I cut out my first attempt at this. So what I need to do is raise that fucking 10 tons.
Oh my
up.
god, this sucks.
Yeah, it's hard. So I have to raise that all the way to the top. And when that arrow is red, every time I hit it with this oil stuff, it will go up. But if it's orange like this, it only goes up every 3 hits.
Oh man, you had like a sweet spot.
Yeah, I did. But
Oh my god.
it's the only
Moved.
one. So I have to try this again.
Music's good again.
Yeah, the music's not bad.
I don't know. This
Did the
seems
furnace
pretty...
hurt you?
Yes, absolutely. And I don't know how to avoid it at all.
I think this game seems pretty average.
It's not good. I have only played these 2 levels, so I don't know.
I mean, you know, for a Nintendo game, like a Nintendo
Yeah.
original NES,
hmm
it's not garbage.
It could have been
Right.
much worse.
And I mean, an LJN game based on this property of all properties?
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Not
I
even in the
never
bottom
forgot
50.
that LJN made this game. I mean, listen, it's not perfect. There's a lot wrong with it, a lot.
Yeah.
But like,
The controls are a little floaty too. They're a little annoying.
yeah, that makes sense for them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not terrible.
No, I mean it could have been way worse. I had much lower expectations when my randomness landed on the Incredible Crash Dummies.
Rumpel says, this game is by far not in the worst bottom 50 you guys have played.
Oh, agreed.
And-
Agreed.
Agreed wholeheartedly, because I've played all 50 of them.
We should do an episode and go back and rank the games.
Yeah.
God, how many games have we played at this point?
I mean, at least 3 per episode, 4 for some of the earlier ones.
Yeah, and we're on 158 now, so that's
Yeah.
quite a few.
No, we have lost episodes too. What?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there are 3 or 4 lost episodes. Though we ended up playing some of the footage for those in like episode 50.
That's
Ugh.
true.
So you gotta get the oil can for your ammo, right?
Yep. So when I run out, I have to go back in an area that's
Oh my
impossible
God.
to avoid. So let's try it again.
All right, I have an idea. This is a recording, so you can't listen to me.
Sure.
But there's no timer, right?
There's no timer.
And so go stun him. You get the oil can, then you go back down. You stun him some more until the oil can appears again, and you rack up on the shots, on the juice.
Well, let's see if I ultimately do that.
No,
Hey,
you're not
we,
going to. I can already tell.
we still have 2 minutes left in this video.
My plan would take like 30 minutes to beat the boss.
You don't know if I've done any edits.
Okay, all right. You're not gonna need to do it because you got really good at Crash Test Dummies.
I did. There's at least one sweet spot, and luckily I found it pretty early on. So basically what I'm hoping for right now is I just get a lot of red arrow because it seems to be random, and maybe I won't run out of oil. Right now I still have 23 left. Alright. Again, I don't know what the story is to this game because I started on the last level. But
Sentient crash dummies decide that their only existence is to.
Oh, hey, whoa.
I killed him. I crushed him.
Oh my god.
I crushed him with 10 tons of weight.
Phew, that junk man's a real headbanger. What? But you knew this job was dangerous when you took it. All we gotta do now is find Spare Tire.
So I guess they stole our friend's spare tire.
What's the matter, junk man? Did your mom drop you on your head? Okay.
Wow.
There he is, in the crash chair, too frightened to move, and he's not wearing a safety belt. That means one thing. I've got to slam into the buffer and release the chair. What?
What?
Gotta slam into the buffer and release the chair. Their catchphrase was wordy.
It feels like I'm beating my head against the wall. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Junkman really had us going there, but he should have realized that it isn't easy to break up a great team like ours. What did he think we are? A couple of dummies?
All right.
that the last scene is really good. Hey, nice job, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job. So yeah, not gonna play it again. But it wasn't terrible. The controls were a little frustrating. The music was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah. All in all, not as bad as I expected. Yeah.
Legit. Still the worst game of the show.
Oh yeah,
but
absolutely. That is the shit game award this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a bad game.
No. All right. Well, that has been this episode of Cartridge Blowers. But before we sign out, Matt, why don't you tell us?
I game 4 Uncanny X-Men's. Thanks, chat.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Cool. Matt, why don't you tell us what we're doing next time?
We've actually got a special show coming up.
Yeah.
Normally we do a show bi-weekly, even though we skip shows all the time, so it's like what the fuck ever. But we're actually doing another show next week.
Yeah,
that's
recording
right.
Twice in a row.
Twice in a row. This upcoming Friday, viewer beware, you're in for a scare. Tune in for Halloween. Nope. That was dumb. I don't like it.
Halloween? Okay.
It didn't taste good in my mouth when I said it. It was not a good pun. Yeah, next time we're playing them spooky games. So
yeah.
It's that time of year where the ghouls come out
for a scream and wake.
And then we're gonna be here to shake and bake. So come on down to Cartridge Blowers next week, where Matt, Nikki, and Cody play. I don't know, probably just like what, PUBG. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, mostly scary games, things that can be Halloween adjacent, things that have spooky imagery, anything like that.
Candy Crush.
There you go.
Ooh,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably has a Halloween skin on it for this time of year. Who knows? They still make that
Candy
game?
Kong.
Oh, that's not scary. That's Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, holidays are holidays.
Yeah. All right, so that's what you have to look forward to in, 1 week if you're watching us live, a little bit after that if you're watching us after the fact. So, yeah, until then, this has been Cartridge Blowers. I'm Cody Coleman. With me, as always, is Nikki Wright.
Bye-bye.
And Matt Krua.
Bye.
Till next time, don't die. But, Matt, they should do something. What is it?
Keep blowing.
Keep on blowing. Bye, everybody.